everyone! We're back with another fun arty party from the Marietta Cobb Museum of Art. I'm Allison Frank, the Education Director, and today's project is inspired by artist Soo Sunny Park. She is a Korean American artist who actually, fun fact, used to live in Marietta, Georgia, right by the museum. Hometown girl! She does a lot of work that has to do with ordinary objects. Actually, one of her first pieces was inspired by a plastic cup shoved into a chain link fence, and that turned into SSVT Vapor Slide, which you can actually see is made out of cups shoved into chain link fence, suspended from the ceiling, with strings with rocks hanging from it, and it looks really cool. Some of the other pieces on the screen, Boundary Conditions is made out of strips of transparency. Fractal Immersions is made out of pieces of egg carton. And Silver Linings is actually a combination of silver mylar and roofing material, so like black tar paper, woven through a fence. But today's project is actually going to be inspired by Unwoven Light, which is from 2015, and it is a really big installation. This room is at least 40 feet long, made from chain link fence and plexiglass with a reflective surface on it. So you can see that the light goes through it and makes really pretty rainbow colors and then splashes light all over the walls. Now, we can't really do this very well at home, but we can make what's called a modular sculpture. I'm going to show you how to make the pieces of it, and then you can put it together however you want it to go. So here's my modular sculpture. We've got a nice grid, got our squares, and they're actually stuck together with pieces of aluminum foil. So you can use any paper you have around the house. Heavier paper is better, so if you've got some cardstock or some watercolor paper, maybe some poster board, that'll be a good thing to use. I'm going to be using watercolor paint, but you can use anything you've got. You can use crayons, you can use colored pencils, you can use markers, whatever you have. You just need some paper, a pair of scissors. If you have it, a 1-hole punch. If you don't, we can poke holes with scissors, but if you are younger, please ask a grown-up to help you with that part. You're going to need some aluminum foil. Again, ask a grown-up if you could use the aluminum foil. And then your color thing, be it crayons or markers or watercolor paint. So I'm going to move this over. And oh, okay, making sure that I can reach my hole punch when it's time. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and if you're also using watercolor, this will be the fun thing to do. I am going to take my brush and I'm going to get some nice clean water on it, and I'm going to wet my whole paper. This is called getting ready to do some, ooh, I'm making a big shadow there, aren't I? There we go. We're going to be doing what's called wet into wet. We're going to put the water on the paper and let the color go wherever it wants. It's really fun. And so instead of making a picture, this is what's called abstract. We're just doing something with color that looks nice and makes us feel good. Now, if you are using crayons or markers or gel pens or something else, I want you to do whatever you want all over your page, but keep in mind we are going to cut this page up, so maybe don't draw an actual picture. Doodling all over it is fine. Just coloring random colors is a great idea. Splotches. Different sections of color. We're kind of trying to get the color, the random rainbow colors that Unwoven Light has going on, but you can do whatever you like. It's your picture. So I have this very soaked piece of paper now. You can see it's bloop, popping up. That's fine. It won't hurt anything. And now I'm going to start adding some colors. Now I can actually just get some watercolor paint on my brush and just start touching it to the paper, and it's gonna go all over the place. Now it's not going very far, which means I need more water and more paint on my brush. There we go. Now it's getting excited. You can make little drops, you can make big ones, and you'll notice if you put some next to each other that they'll push each other away. It's actually really fun to watch. I think I'm gonna put some purple in here. Whee! Ooh, check that out. See how much fun this is? I really enjoy this part. All right, maybe get some red. Red dries so pale, it'll probably look pink when we're done. All right, I think I'm gonna do some more purple over here. Now, if you hit a hard edge, like if your paint stops moving in a certain place, you probably need to add a little more water. And you'll see my big brush come out when I want to add some water. Ooh, that one was fun. That was like a firework. Baby, you're a firework. All right. Put some more blue blobs in. Oh, see how they push each other? I really like this part. Some blues. I like cold colors, so I'm going to be doing more of those. Do you know which ones are cold colors? So I tend to do more of these. Now, if your paper is getting kind of dry, you might need to, I'm kind of leaning to see if there are any dry spots where I need to put some more water. Oh, definitely need some over here. Some places on the paper are going to soak it up faster. By the way, if you see this happening, that's called a bloom, and that's okay. You can let your paint push on each other. We'll go back and mess with that if you don't want it to look that way. And if you think it looks cool, just leave it. It's fun to let the paint do what it wants to do sometimes. All right. Get some more green. It's gonna get messy over here. That's okay. Miss Frizzle might be one of my heroes. She's very much about let's get messy. It's okay if you don't want to get messy though. All right, let's get some more. Let's get some more red, I think, in here. A couple of places. No, I don't have any green on this side. How about I add some green over here? Maybe a big corner of green. Oh, too dry. It's not spreading. So I'm going to take a lot of water and just kind of push it around, drag it out, see what happens. And if you get some solid places that you are like, that's kind of boring, you can add more paint, or you can drop some water on there, and that'll make some blooms on purpose. And if you just leave it there, it's going to push the pigment around. The pigment is the color. And make some funny shapes. So let's see what that does up in the corner. And then over here, I think I'm going to add, ooh, that's a lot of purple. Maybe a little less purple. Let me push some purple around here in the middle. All right. Oh, that thing I just did, I got some fresh water on my brush and I used it to push the paint around so that there wasn't a hard line between this fun part that blew out and the part I just added. That way it just blends a little better. It's a little more fun. All right, I think we're gonna put a little orange right here because why not? And then probably need some water in here before I add anything. Little green, little dot. A little bit of red. Maybe some blue. Maybe some orange right here. Ooh, it's dry. Let's get some water on that and see what we can make it do. Ooh, see these cool blooms that are showing up here? That's super fun. Now, if you're not painting, if you're just using your crayons or your markers, do whatever you would like. And if you get done with yours before I get done with mine, that is okay. Just hit fast forward. The thing you are going to have to do if you get ahead of me is I want you to do the other side of the paper. Flip it over, make fun things happen. Ooh, that was cool. Maybe we'll spread that out though. We'll get that a little spread out. I think I need some water over here and probably over here so I can fill in those last couple spaces. Now you don't have to fill in every space. You can leave some white space between your colors if you want to, but I kind of wanted to have color everywhere because that'll look cool. But you do what makes you happy. All right, what color should I use over here? Maybe, you know, I could use a big blob of orange over here. I'm using a salsa jar for my water cup, and it makes a funny noise when I clean my brush. Goes clang. All right, get some big old orange blob, I think. Oh yes, that's very fun. Maybe another little dot of red over here. I'm trying not to have the same color touch because that's more fun that way. Like I said, you can do it however you want. Maybe some green right here, just to fill up that space. All right. Oh, nope, got this area over here to do. Gotta make sure good and wet. Get really, really green. All right, and then let's see. I don't want my colors to touch, so I'm gonna put some orange right here. And I think some red right here. Oh, still got a little dry. A little red over here. We're pretty well colored now. So now I can do things like, remember how I said you can just get some clean water on your brush and use it to smear things out to make edges softer? That's what we call it when you kind of wipe up some of it. I think I'm gonna put some blooms here. This got boring. Let's put some fun things over here. Got some blooms there, and I think I'm gonna gently scrub some of this a little more over here. Oops, I'm wiping the blue now. So you know what? We're gonna add some blooms on the blue. Soften that up. Blend colors, blend. I would like you to blend. All right. Oops, you can't see that if I go up the corner too far. I actually really like the fun things that are going on over here. I do think I'm going to put a bloom in the middle of that orange blob, though. And this red blob is kind of boring, so let's give it a little fun. There we go. doot, doot, doot. So I am just blending all of the little edges by using clean water and just kind of going along. Now watercolor, when you put more water on it, it gets wet again. So you blend really, really strongly, even if you don't really want to when you do this. So be wary, but it's actually really fun. It makes really cool colors. Oh, I didn't do anything on that corner. That's so boring. Let's do something funny there. Let's do some more orange. Let's do some orange in here. Exciting orange. Whee! There we go. Like I said, white space isn't necessarily boring, but I don't want it to happen today. Oh, that part dried really late too. Let's add some more orange there. The part where I added blooms just got sad. I guess we'll add some more red there and some purple. There we go. That's way more fun, right? So you can tell I'm not trying to really make it look like anything. I just want to make it so I like it. It just looks cool. That's my only goal. I want it to look cool. And you'll know when it looks cool. Everybody's brain knows. There's no way to do it wrong, really. All right, I think we're about ready. Soften that up. I like it. We are ready to go. So that is what your paper's gonna look like. Now, if you are using crayons or markers or colored pencils, you can just flip your paper over and do the other side right now. If you were using paint like me, you're gonna let it dry for a while, at least an hour. Then you can flip it over and do the other side. Now, I actually have a piece of paper stashed in the corner that is already painted on both sides, so I can show you the next part of the project. So let me take this to go dry, and I will get the other piece and be right back. All right, so here's a piece I did earlier today. You can see it looks completely different. So here's one side of it. Ooh, that must have dribbled. That's really interesting. And then here is the other side. I did the same technique that I just showed you. I just, it comes out different every time. So this is the piece of paper that we're going to be using to make our modular sculpture. Let me get my paint out of the way because I won't need it now. So for this part, you're going to need your scissors. And then you'll need your hole punch. Now, if you have a ruler, that's useful, but you don't really have to use it. This doesn't have to be perfect. We're just going to make some squares. I know that this piece of paper is 9 inches by 12 inches, which means I can make 12 3-inch squares out of it. They don't have to be perfect, but I know if I start dividing in half and then in half, then I can get 3 equal sides out of that, and I'll show you how that works. So this is about halfway. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. And then this is about halfway on this one. And this is about halfway on this one. So now I've got 4 strips that are 3 inches wide by 9 inches long. So we're going to take each of these. did cut a little crooked, but that's okay. We're gonna go like this and like that. Those are about the same size. See, we've got 3 squares now that are, they're almost square and they're about the same size. So we're gonna keep doing that until we have all our squares. Now, if you like this project and you want to make yours bigger, you can do this as many times as you want. You can add lots and lots and lots of squares to it and just keep going. All right, there's another batch. But this will get you started. Okay, there's 3 more. Now, gotta get the last 3. And some of these are a little rectangular. That's okay. If you want to make them a little more square, that's cool too. Like I said, if you have a ruler, awesome, but it's not that necessary. All right, so we've got our stack of pieces. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can put this together. I showed you earlier that I made a modular grid sculpture that's a little more like Unwoven Light was in the first place. This is one option. I'm going to show you another way you can do it. You can also make long hanging pieces that you could hang like over your doorway or on a wall just to make something pretty that hangs, or maybe even in a window. So there's a couple different ways to attach these together. Just going to get that out of the way so it's not in there. But first, we got to punch some holes. So my first piece, I know I'm going to have, so if you're going to connect a bunch of pieces together, you're going to want to punch holes in all 4 corners so that you can attach them to each other. But first, I'm going to show you how to make the long hanging parts, which means you only have to punch holes. Oh, I forgot one on here. At the top and the bottom. See, got holes at the top and the bottom so that we can make a hanging like this. All right, so you've got some holes in your pieces. Now you need your aluminum foil. I had to put this on the floor earlier because my cats were being silly and chewing on it. So what you want to do, again, make sure that you check with an adult before you take the aluminum foil, just in case they were planning to cook with it. But if you pull out a piece that's also, this is sharp, this part that cuts it. So if you're smaller, please have an adult help you get this part done. So you're going to pull out a piece that's about as big as your square of paper, about 3 inches long. And you're just going to pull off this little piece of aluminum foil. Now I want you to take that and rip it into 7 or 8 pieces. So they're going to be about 1 inch wide. So in my case, that's about as long as my thumb. That might work for you. Honestly, it doesn't really matter how big the pieces are. You're just going to rip a bunch of pieces out of this. Oh, that one came out a little funky. Maybe not that one. And they don't have to be exactly straight, but the straighter you can get them, the better it is. All right, I think I got 7 or 8 out of that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece and you're going to fold it in half to make a skinny little bit. And then you're going to fold, oh, I just realized you can't see very well if I do it that way. All right, so you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to fold it in half again. Now you've got this skinny little piece, and you're going to twist it like a big old twist tie. Twist, 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 twist. That's basically what we're making, is twist ties. We're making wire. It's super fun. All right, so now you've got a little twist tie, and I'm going to need I'm going to need at least 1 more for this part. So I'm going to make another one. So we're going to fold this in half and in half again. You can go straight to twisting from without folding, but then it tends to rip. That is why I'm telling you to fold. I promise there's a reason why I come up with these things. All right, so we've got some connectors for this section. So if you take your thumb and put it in the middle so that there's an equal stick on each end and you kind of bend it, it'll make a U shape. And you're going to take one end of the U shape and stick it through here, and another end of the U shape and stick it on the next one. Now make sure you leave a little bit of space. See how I've got a little bit of aluminum hanging between these two? That way they can swing freely like a chain. Right, so you're going to fold this up and get these two ends and you're going to twist them together. You're going to twist them together like it's a twist tie on a bag of bread. Twist, 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 and then you can smush it down. But now they're connected to each other. Ta-da! So now we're going to do the other one. Remember, take it, push your thumb into the middle to make a U shape. And then you're going to stick it in here and add another one. So you can take your squares and link all of them together into big long strips and hang them somewhere if you want to. That is one way to put them together. Now the other way to put them together is to make the grid like I did earlier. And with these, the other thing you can do with these little pieces of wire is you can actually bend them. So if you wanted to make like a structure out of your abstract grid, you totally can. It will bend to your will. So see, we've got a nice dangly. The colors did not go so well on that, did they? I'll get the colors eventually. There we go. So we've got the dangly bits, but now let's go over how to do the grid part. So we're going to take 4 of these, and I'm going to try and grab some that look good together. Maybe try to get them. This one's a little big. That one goes better. So we're going to get our hole punch again, and this time you can see if I want to put them together like this, I'm going to need to put holes here so I can attach these to each other, and then I'm going to need to do holes here, 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 and here. So each one's going to have 3 holes. Now if I wanted to attach this to another section, I would give all of them 4 holes. I'm just going to show you how to do this part. You can experiment with how you want to put yours together. So, sorry, this is loud. If you want to just build things with yours, just punch holes in all the corners and then go have fun. Oh no, I made confetti. Confetti everywhere. Yay! Sometimes the little flap on my hole punch doesn't do a good job of keeping the hole punches together, and I end up with happy confetti. Now when you're punching your holes, make sure to stay away from the edge. If you go up right up against the edge, your piece is going to rip, and that's not very fun. All right, so we've got holes in all of our corners, and now we're going to stick our pieces together. Let's see. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors for there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 connectors for the inside. So we'll need 8 altogether. I have a few left over from last time. We're going to make some more twisty ties. All right. I like to keep track this way, so that one's for right there. Keep bumping that with my elbow. I was going to end up with a hole punch on my foot, and that was not going to feel good. All right, so that one will go there. This is a funny shaped one. Yeah, it'll fold just fine. Just kind of get it folded. Get it folded, get it twisted. Make our little twist ties. that one's for right there. All right. And you can do this with smaller squares if you want to make more, but the smaller you get, the harder it is to get a good hole in the corner without ripping your paper. So this is kind of the smallest I would go, maybe a little smaller. All right, so we got those. Now I need 4 more for the inside. So, and you could do this as a group project where everybody makes paper and makes their colored paper and then cuts up their squares and swaps so that everybody has some of everybody's squares. Or you could actually just pool all your squares together and make one big thing. It'll be super fun. All right, there's that. Oh, I got a piece left over from earlier. This was the piece the cats were trying to eat. By the way, keep the aluminum foil away from your pets or any younger family members. They will get excited and try to eat it. It's not very good for them. All right, so I need 3 more of these, and then we'll put them together. Twist, twist, twist. Oops. Twist. All right. By the way, if you would like to look at more of Soo Sunny Park's artwork, you can go to her website. I will put a link in the description for the video so you can go see more of her really cool artwork. She even posts her concept sketches, so the ideas that she has and figuring out what she wants to do for pieces. She posts some of those on her website. It's really cool to look at. All right, so now we've got enough twist ties to do everything we need to do. Bloop, bloop. I'm just gonna make a pile. That really was just so I could keep track of which ones were which. Again, you're gonna wanna make a U, and I guess I'll start over on this side. So we're gonna connect. Oh, it doesn't wanna go in. There we go. So we're gonna connect this part. Now remember, leave a little space. You're gonna make a little twist, like you're closing the bread. And for this kind, you can actually, if you have like a longer twist tie, you can take the ends and kind of push them between the blocks so that you get kind of a knot going. It's really, really very sturdy. All right, and we're going to do another one of those right here so that we are good and connected. Again, make sure you leave a space. Not too big, but big enough that you can get the extra little bit in if you want to. Well, it didn't line up very well, did it? Oh, I ripped it. Oh no, I'll have to make another one. That's a thing that happens. And it's okay. So the way that Soo Sunny Park makes these is she takes big pieces of fence. And one of the reasons she uses fence, chain link fence, is because fence usually divides people, and she wants to use it to bring people together. That's fun for her. I'm actually going to trim this a little bit off because that's really long. I don't know how some of them got so much longer than the others. But so she takes pieces of chain link fence, and then she takes pieces of plexiglass with a special coating on it, and she drills holes in the corner of all of her plexiglass pieces, and she uses wire to attach it to the chain link fence, and then she uses what's called welding. So she takes hot metal to put, she uses a hot tool to put bloops of hot metal between pieces of the chain link fence to make it hold its shape. So she welds it together in the shape that she wants and hangs it from the ceiling. So she definitely has helpers when she has to put the whole thing together. When she's building it, she does a lot of that part herself. But when it comes time to hang it up, when it comes time to build it, that part it requires help. Oh, I made it too tight that time. Let's make that a little bigger. There we go. I think if I'm remembering correctly, she currently lives in Illinois. Oh, that one came out really well too. So yeah, clip. You can just use your scissors to clip that off if you end up with one that's really long and just sticking out there. I guess that piece I ripped it off too long to start with. All right, gonna make our twist tie here. Squish, 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 squish. All right, almost done. Oh, right. Need to make a new one because I ripped one. I forgot. I'll just go ahead and do that right now so I don't forget again. All right. All right. So I'm going to add our last piece. So this one's going to have a lot of connectors. You have to have a connector here, a connector here, a connector here, and a connector here, just so it's super sturdy. That'll help you bend it if you wanted to make a structure with it. So what kind of structure can you think of to make with these? Do you know what you're going to do? Yay! I'll see if I can cut that part out. Sorry about that. Sometimes technology decides to not play nice. All right, let's finish our project. That's just weird. What a strange thing my camera did. That's the second time it's done that to me this week, but it hasn't done that to me ever before this week. So like in 5 days, it's done this to me twice, but it hasn't done it to me, you know, previously in the last, let's see, I've had these cameras for a year and a half, 2 years. Why are you grumpy? Grumpy camera. Oh, we got a long one again. We'll just trim that off again. Make sure to squish it down. Be careful when you're squishing this down. You don't want to leave any pokey bits that will poke your fingers. That part's no fun. All right, so we're going to do one right here just to make the middle really sturdy. Keep putting my elbow on the hole punch. Feels weird. All right, we're going to tuck those in. Make a nice knot. Then we're going to get our last twist tie here and tie these two together. Boop, boop. Here we go. Just gonna tuck these through, and that is how you can put a grid together. So you could have extra pieces coming off. You could actually make one of these and attach one of these to the end, or put this part at the top and hang it. Almost looks like a kite that way. You can do things however you want. You might even be able to build a really cool city structure that way. See if your grown-ups will let you hang it from the ceiling, string it along the stairs, maybe hang it in a window. So we've got this that we can, so you can like, and see, that is why we use aluminum foil, because now we can make it hold funny shapes. Ta-da! Check that out. Whee! So you can make a lot of different things with this or with this type and just have fun with it. See what you can do. Look at Soo Sunny Park's work. Decide what you would like to do with yours. You can try a bunch of different things and make really fun stuff. In fact, I want to see what you make. So if you could send us either an email to Allison@MariettaCobbArtMuseum.org, or if you could tag us on Facebook or Instagram, I would love to see what you make with your abstract grid sculptures inspired by Soo Sunny Park. Again, I'm Allison Frank, the Education Director at the Marietta Cobb Museum of Art, and thank you so much for tuning in. We will have another project in a couple of days, and stay tuned to see what the next one is. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. Bye!